Roland-Garros, the 1st of June, the hottest day of the tournament so far, with the action reaching boiling point on the courts, with a place in the second week up for grabs.
Welcome, everyone, to Live at Roland-Garros, live right now on Facebook, YouTube, RolandGarros.com, and the official app. We've got live tennis still going on right now around the grounds, but we've got plenty to pack in for you in the next 30 minutes. As the world number one is stunned, the defending champion, well, she rolls on.
It's a week one stroll for Novak Djokovic, with last year's runner-up joining him in the round of 16.
And sitting down with Sloane Stephens. Not in the studio tonight is Daniela Hantuchova. We welcome all of you, but Daniela's going to be with us in spirit because we're talking about the spirit of player superstitions, and you just wonder how many of those superstitions were at play today when it was so hot out there on court.
It was, so we talked about this yesterday. We said it's going to be a hot day today, but just walking in to site to Roland-Garros this morning, really difficult conditions, but we have air-conditioned rooms to sit in. What about the players actually out there on the courts?
Yeah, we did talk about this and sort of how fans take care of themselves, but what about the players? The towels were in full effect, the umbrellas. What about even the ice packs? Those are usually used at the Australian Open, at the US Open. We saw a lot of players utilizing those and some longer matches today, but certainly that was a factor today in some of the matches, and even more so tomorrow.
Now, we're quite lucky because up here in the studio, it's not a big breeze, but there's a little bit of a breeze that makes things bearable. I'm sure, Eli, where you are, there is no breeze and it's pretty hot.
Yeah, we have no air conditioning down here. It is really hot, but it's nice. It's nice. No complaints coming from me. Finally, we get nice warm weather. Maybe complaints coming from Serena Williams, who just got broken. Sofia Kenin up 3-2. She's clearly taken this match from the right end, as they say. She is very determined, very focused. She has her game face on. The court is all covered in shade, but half the stadium is getting hit by the sun in a big way. So all the people sitting on my right are in the sun. All the people on the left are in the shade. Great conditions. Typical end-of-day conditions. Well, not as hot, but typical end-of-day conditions here at Roland-Garros. The light is going to get prettier and prettier. Magic hour is coming.
And it's going to be really interesting to see how Sofia Kenin handles things, because it's the biggest clay court in the world, and she's playing one of the legends of the game, one of the biggest players in the world, in Serena Williams.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, remember, Sofia Kenin, from the age of 5, she wanted one thing: become #1 in the world. If you want to become #1 in the world, you got to beat the best. And here she has a chance at it today. She's up 3-2 and serving. Who knows? She's definitely giving Serena a run for her money.
Certainly is so far, so we'll keep an eye on that. Thank you very much, Eli. And you mentioned there, Sofia Kenin, the goal is to be world #1, but what about for the current world #1 and Naomi Osaka, who was on court after that big win over Victoria Azarenka in the second round, but today nothing was working on court against a 23-year-old named Katerina Siniakova, who's actually herself a world #1 in doubles, but she's ranked just 42 in the singles, and today that didn't matter. She was hitting all of her spots, and for Osaka, Gigi, 38 unforced errors in a straight set loss.
Yeah, that's the stat that stands out for all the wrong reasons for Naomi Osaka. Those 38 unforced errors coming in 18 games. And it means the first Grand Slam loss in 11 months. You have to go back to the 7th of July, 2018 for the last time she was defeated in a Grand Slam competition. And from Siniakova, for me, the big stat, she saved 7 of 7 break points in that first set.
Yeah, huge. And the biggest win of Siniakova's young career as she moves into the 4th round of a major in singles for the first time, and you can see the disappointment there on the face of Naomi Osaka, and you feel like that's just going to last now for, well, at least a few more days.
But yeah, definitely, I think this tournament, I've had a feeling that was different to the other Grand Slams, or like every other Grand Slam that I've played, because usually I find it very freeing and fun, and this time around I was kind of tense the entire time.
What's the level of disappointment at the moment?
Like it would go from 1 to 10, and I'm like at a 100 right now, so yeah.
No such trouble for defending champion Simona Halep, who has reached the furthest at a Grand Slam that she's been to since this time last year. We talk about Halep being on court and bruising encounters and going the distance. This was the complete opposite against Lesia Tsurenko, the 27th seed. It was 5 minutes shy of 1 hour, and she dropped just the 3 games. I know, Nick, it wasn't a Tsurenko in the finest of form. She had a medical timeout, but how clinical was Halep?
No, it's huge because Simona Halep had struggled 2 3-setters to open this tournament. She needed, this is what the doctor ordered for Simona today on a hot day. She came out, she was hitting her spots. And I know players a lot of times just say, Gigi, a win is a win, but she's going to walk into the locker room very confident to come through into the 4th round like this and playing some of her best standout tennis.
I think the deeper you go in the tournament, it's all right to have a couple of rounds that are a bit of a battle. You do not want to battle through the whole tournament because to win this title, it's 7 wins over the course of 2 weeks on a bruising surface. But for Simona Halep, she cannot face a top 10 player before the semi-finals. And in terms of being clinical and getting the job done as she did just there, 80% conversion rate on break points. Everything went right from Simona Halep as soon as she stepped out on the court. They were the first match on Philippe Chatrier. She got the job done. It was a 55-minute 6-2, 6-1 win for the defending champion.
Before the match, I was really nervous. I have to admit, very big emotions, but it's normal. I'm here again, I'm feeling good, and I have expectations from myself to play good tennis. But after a few games, I was free emotions, and I could focus on the game. I think I managed very well the atmosphere before the match and the feelings that I had, and I played a good match.
So from one former champion to another, Novak Djokovic, winner here in 2016. Can he make it happen again? He's 13-2 on clay this season, and this was win number 13 of 2019 on the clay. It also moves him into his 13th round of 16 here. Wow, that is exceptional. Today, just not really troubled by Salvatore Caruso. The qualifier was not broken today. And also, this is the understated part of his game for me, Gigi, the serve. He wins 84% of first serve points. We always get the highlights of him playing so well off the ground, but that serve is lethal.
It certainly is. He's now got a perfect record against qualifiers taking place on the Philippe Chatrier court. It's now 24th consecutive Grand Slam win. We're going to talk about this a little later, but he's going for the 2nd Nole Slam. Maybe we're not talking about it enough, but it's unbelievable. He looks so good out there, but he did say, Nick, that he too found these difficult conditions. So if someone as experienced as Novak Djokovic is finding the heat difficult, it says a lot about today's conditions.
Yeah, and for him, he moves through today straight sets here, match point. Look at the way he moves Caruso around the court. He's so lethal from the backcourt. I also mentioned that serve, and Djokovic just really, there's no question marks around his game, and Eli got a chance to catch up with his coach, the guy that's been guiding him through the path here, Marian Vaida.
He's finding his game. I'm most pleased about it, that he knows, he played really good today and changed the rhythm of the ball. I was really happy with his movement and with his serve. His serve is very stable now. And yeah, he's enjoying every moment, I think. You can see him, I mean, he loves to play in front of this crowd in Paris.
Now, with the action finishing all the time, a short while ago, Dominic Thiem, finalist here, of course, last year, managed to come through against a tricky opponent on the clay in Pablo Cuevas. It wasn't straightforward. It did go to 4 sets. It wasn't a straight sets win as he would have liked in these conditions, but it's a 4th time into a round of 16 for Dominic Thiem. He's now 125 of his 244 tour-level wins have come on, Nick.
Clay,
right?
Go. Red clay. Dominic Thiem just so devastating. And even this drop set against Cuevas, I don't think he'll take too much into that. I actually think he's working his way well into this tournament because he lost his first match in Rome, Gigi. I think this is just what he needs in week 1.
He gave a little speech in French. Obviously, his girlfriend is the French player Kristina Mladenovic, and he had a big smile on his face when he came through that chat with Marion Bartley. It's going to be interesting to see if he's smiling when he faces his next opponent.
Yeah, his next opponent is this guy, Gael Monfils, and we don't say much about Monfils, that it's usually, well, straightforward, but this week it really has been. Look at this scoreline, 3-2-3 over Antoine Huang, the wild card, and Gigi now, no sets dropped for Monfils, who's lost just 23 games across 3 matches. You've got to say Le Monf is looking very confident, and I say he'd take a confident swing at Dominic Thiem when they meet in the next round.
There are some fascinating round of 16 matchups coming together. Now, the good news for you is with all the action that was taking place, we've got a handful more matches to get through to keep you right up to date with what has taken place on Saturday in Roland-Garros. Starting with Sasha Zverev, he was 2 sets up. When it went into a fifth, you started thinking, oh no, is it going to happen again? Is he not going to make it to the second week, which he did here last year? But he came through against Dusan Lajovic, 6-2, same scoreline actually, when they met here last year. He's now 5-0 in Roland-Garros 5-setters since last year. Overall, he's won 8 of the last 9. And next up, a certain Italian.
Indeed, and that Italian is Fabio Fognini, who just played, I think, about 5 more minutes than Sasha Zverev on court today. Needed 1 fewer set. Look at that scoreline, 6-1 in the 4th set against Roberto Bautista Agut. But for Fognini, he now comes through 50 winners, 11 aces. Can the Monte Carlo champ go deep in week 2? And he actually needs to take some confidence from that win just a few weeks ago against Sasha Zverev in Monte Carlo.
Next up, a match that finished last night because they couldn't see each other, let alone the court. It started again today, second match on Philippe Chatrier, and Stefanos Tsitsipas come through against Filip Krajinovic. Now, the Serb had golden opportunities to take this to a decider. Tsitsipas looked like he was struggling in the heat. 63 winners, 55 unforced errors. He won his first clay court title this year, Estoril runner-up at Madrid. He's got the most wins on tour this season in 32, Stefanos Tsitsipas. He's into his first Roland-Garros round of 16, and following the match, Eli caught up with his dad and coach, Apostolos Tsitsipas.
The conditions, we know all of us that the conditions in the French Open it's specific. If you play late matches, it's possible to continue next day because of there's no lights. So probably you're gonna tell them to the officials. No, I'm kidding. So it's a specific conditions. It's the first time in his life, and it's great to see that the person, young person, to deal with that. And it makes me really happy, and hopefully he's going to find now the strength to regroup himself, to reorganize himself for the next match.
What about Madison Keys, the American seeded 14th? She's had some trouble in this tournament, and including in this match against Anna Blinkova, who took out Caroline Garcia in the last round. But Keys, we can't forget she was a semi-finalist here last year. She's 15-6 in her career at Roland-Garros, and she's now 9-2 on clay in 2019. And next up for her was supposed to be Naomi Osaka. Instead, she'll welcome this Katerina Siniakova.
Congratulations to Stan Wawrinka, a 500th career win today in a match that was carried over from last night, coming through in 3 tight, tough, difficult sets against Grigor Dimitrov. He came from 2-5 down, 2-6 down in that tiebreak, Stan Wawrinka, to make sure it was done in straight sets. He's a 2015 champion. He is through to the second week. A nice embrace between the two at the net. And in the minutes following this, Eli was able to speak to Wawrinka's coach, Magnus Norman.
He's moving well. He's got good confidence now again, winning a couple of matches here in Paris, and he likes to play in Paris. So let's see. I mean, it's still a lot of tennis to be played, hopefully this year. But I'm happy where he's at the moment.
He's in the second week. Is he now officially a contender?
I don't know. We never spoke about winning Grand Slams, and we take day by day. We try to make as much as possible and try to improve. We always think long term, you know. So, but yeah, he's put himself in a good position to play good tennis again this year. So I'm happy for him.
How about a belated happy birthday to Iga Swiatek? That's a name we're going to have to get used to saying, because at 18 years old today she takes out Monica Puig, and in just her second ever career major, she's into the 4th round. Comes back from losing that first set 6-love, hits 34 winners, and guess what? The happy birthday present is she takes on Simona Halep, the defending champ, in the next round. Look at what that means to her.
What a birthday present, facing Simona Halep in the next round. We had a match that lasted an age, 4 hours and 22 minutes to be precise, and it would be Jan-Lennard Struve who had dropped to the clay on his knees in celebration, picking up his first top 20 win at a Grand Slam. He's won 5 of his last 6 5-setters. He defeats Borna Coric. Coric had his opportunities, but Struve is picking up some big scalps in 2019, and he goes through, defeating the 13th seed to week 2.
That was just minutes ago, as was this. Juan Martín Del Potro runs away with the 3rd set against Jordan Thompson. So for Del Potro, 4 sets in the first round, 5 sets in the second round. This one more straightforward, a straight setter over Thompson. And next he'll take on either Karen Khachanov or Martin Klizan. but maybe the danger of Delpo lurking, looming. He's got that knee injury he's coming back from last year, but instead he's just worried about himself, and you can see how happy he is there moving through.
And Nick, I can give you his next opponent. It will be Karen Khachanov, who's gone through 6-1, 6-4, 6-3 against Martin Keys. And if you missed some of those, or we were a little bit too quick, or you had to leave and do something else, then Roland-Garros.com or the official app, it will run through everything that's taken place today, everything that's still going on, and of course the order of play that we will get to a little bit later. But the time now is to find out what is exciting the world of social media.
Well, first up, we find out that stars, they're just like us, because Rafael Nadal had an off day. He next takes on Juan Ignacio Londero tomorrow. But Gigi, this is actually just over your shoulder, and Rafa looks like a fan, yeah, just like us.
Look at the
taking
smile.
a picture in Chatrier. He knows that place pretty well.
But I love the big smile. It does look like a sort of fan or a tourist shot, that big beaming smile of, hey, look at me, I've got Philippe Chatrier behind me.
It's great, and this was actually Rafa doing some media today on his off day after practice. So as you walk by Chatrier, even Rafa says, hey, we got to get a picture of that.
Now, if there's someone to follow on social media, Instagram or Twitter, it is Stan Wawrinka. This was taken from his Insta story minutes after he came off court against Grigor Dimitrov. Look at him. That was one set. Can you imagine what Struff and Coric looked like after 4.5 hours? That was the tie-break set that he came through, and boy, he looks exhausted and sweaty.
And yeah, you look closely, he's completely sweated through that shirt, and Stan with a swimming man emoji, because he was swimming in sweat today. He swims through into the next round. Finally, last but not least, we've got Simona Halep, who of course is the defending champ. She wins today, and she's wishing happy birthday to a woman that's been by her side through it all. It's her mom, Tanya. And I love this too, Gigi, because you've got mom, Tanya, and then you've got her niece, also named Tanya, and they're both saying happy birthday to mom.
And I love it. If you follow her Instagram or Twitter, there's loads of pictures of her family. Some people post where they've been. You've got lots of her niece, lots of her mom, lots of her team. She's one of those people that likes close people around her, and she posts them on social media.
Yeah, it's great. Simona is a must follow on any channel, and of course she won through today. Now, we saw Eli Weinstein just a few minutes ago. He was courtside at Court Philippe Chatrier, but Eli, where do we find you now?
Well, I have not moved, and I am not moving for the moment, because last time we spoke, it was 3-2 Sofia Kenin. It's now 5-2 Sofia Kenin. Things are happening here on Court Philippe Chatrier, despite the heat, despite the shade, the light change. Sofia Kenin totally dominating this match right now. Serena Williams not moving very well, and Sofia is throwing her a lot of drop shots and then passing her on the right or on the left. She's serving now to capture the first set, 6-2. There could be a surprise here, an upset. Remember, this is a generation fight. Sofia, 35 in the world. Serena, number 10 in the world. But there's a big gap between them in terms of age. Is it going to happen? Who knows? Let's stay tuned. Keep an eye on this, because things are happening. Court Philippe Chatrier, Sofia Kenin, Serena Williams.
We will be back with you, Eli, before the end of the show. It's time now for our question of the day, and I believe this might be the closest vote we've had so far. So here for you to start with is what we were asking you about. Can Novak Djokovic complete a second no-lay slam? The last one was completed in 2016, and it's incredible. Nick, we touched on this when we had the highlights of his win a little earlier. What he is actually going for, what he is looking to achieve for a second time.
It's really crazy, and I actually think we're spoiled as tennis fans because of how mind-boggling the careers of Rafa, Nole, Roger, Stan, Serena, Venus, all of them still playing. And Novak, 3 years ago, he completed the Grand Slam, the Nole Slam from that last year, and now he's trying to do so again. It's crazy. I feel like we are so honored to be watching all of it happen, but we actually got a chance to hear from Novak himself on, Gigi, how he gets ready for the slams. It's a little different than how he did it in years past.
I do set up a strategy with my team to peak at the Grand Slams, because at this stage of my career, those are the ones that matter the most for me. And those are the tournaments where I want to play my best. And so we try to obviously set up a training schedule that would allow me to reach, so to say, the top of my potential, physically, emotionally, mentally, for the Grand Slam.
So that was Novak Djokovic speaking before the tournament started to find out a little bit more about this. Can he do it? It wasn't just fans around the ground, because you sometimes get Djokovic fans saying, of course he can. And those who may be Federer fans saying, well, of course he can't. So we decided to go deep into the Players' Lounge to get some views, including two men who are very close to him. But we're going to start with a gentleman who's overseeing the career of a former champion here at Roland-Garros.
Yes, why not? I think, well, obviously, we all know it's very difficult, very complex to do that, but he's obviously one of them. Only few can do it. He's obviously one of them. I don't know if that's an obsession for him. I'm not sure. I'm sure he's just focused on trying to win another Grand Slam and see how it goes.
I don't want to say I know he can, because he obviously has the likes of Rafa and Roger still in the draw. I think Rafa is peaking at the right time, but I think it's more than possible that he's able to do it, which is kind of getting a little bit overlooked, in my opinion, with all this Roger fama of him not playing and then coming back, and then obviously you have the guy who won the tournament 10 times. But to shorten my answer, yes, he can.
We will be wiser after the tournament.
Marian Vida, his coach there. Before that, his good friend Janko Tipsarevic, and to start things off, the coach of Garbine Muguruza, Sam Sumik. So, Nick, your thoughts? Will he do it?
Well, I mean, he certainly can, right? But I actually went with Dominic Thiem in my picks. So for me to say, will he, I'm going to say he won't. But that's only because I certainly think he can. But you picked Novak as your pick this tournament, right?
I think we do some predictions with a group of friends, and we did this at the start of the year. And I think I was so blindsided by what he had done through 2018. I thought, well, if he plays at that level with, and you can think of why he didn't win in Bercy, because he had the flu and then the tour finals towards the end of the year. But if he plays like that through 2019, nobody can stop him. So he is my pick for all of them.
For everything.
For everything
for
this year.
For all the Grand Slams. All right, you went in with no lane. That's actually a really good pick. Let's go ahead and hear what all of you had to say on this. We put it out on Twitter and on Instagram, and we had nearly 14,000 votes, Gigi. That's the most that we've had on any poll. This is the closest, but look at there. 54% say yes. Well, they're agreeing with you. Did you vote, by the way?
It's pretty... I didn't. I normally do. I feel really bad. Normally, I vote in this. Sometimes I vote for friends as well, so I have about 3 or 4 votes. I didn't actually vote today, and I was not surprised that it's so close, because everyone knows he can do it, but when you've got Rafa Nadal and Dominic Thiem standing in the way, it does change things slightly.
Well, it's going to make for an enthralling week, too. Now, it's been very hot today, and it's meant to be very hot tomorrow. It's hot for us. It's hot for the players, but Camille Pan is going to explain to us, how does clay court tennis change in the heat?
Hi everybody, as you can see, summer arrived here in Roland-Garros and the conditions are really dry today and really hot. Does it make any difference on the course? Yes, it does. The ball is getting smaller and it flies faster in the air. The clay is drier, so you can swipe much easier, and also it's really faster when you play a really nice shot, but also the one that fights a lot, they have an advantage on the mental part because they can fight longer in those hot conditions, and the one who attacks sometimes can give up just before the guy who fights. Dealing with the heat is such an issue for players, and the most important thing is to stay hydrated. They should start 2 hours before to drink water. During the match, they should have some sports drink with electrolytes, a little bit of salt, in order to avoid cramps, of course. And all those recommendations, you can find it in the locker room. Also, you have to avoid drinking tea or coffee because you get dehydrated. And you have to wear light clothes in order to feel colder, if you can. And maybe if you want to come to Roland-Garros, you can try those recommendations and you will feel good on court. Well, guys, I had some water 2 hours ago, so I'm allowed to stay here under the sun, having a little nap, easy. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
That's very relaxing. 2 hours ago, Nick, I'm going to be like a mother. I'm very motherly. Can you drink some water?
Camille and Gigi,
okay?
I'm staying hydrated.
You're
I'm almost done with this.
No, that's very good. Someone who is done with the first set on Philippe Chatrier is Sophia Kenin. 38 minutes on the clock, and she's taken the first set against a 3-time former champion, Serena Williams.
Sophia Kenin, and there's the celebration from her in the first set. She's an American we've been watching coming up. She won her first singles title in Hobart earlier this year. She plays with her head down. She's always got that tight visor over her eyes. She doesn't let her eyes wander. And right now you think, can she close this out, a set up on Serena Williams?
Now we're going back to Eli, who's still on Philippe Chatrier a little bit later. But first up, players, as I'm sure most of you know who follow tennis, can be superstitious creatures. It's something that is being looked at and talked about by Daniela Hantuchova.
Well, our usual routine is to have Daniela Hantuchova on set with us, but actually, since we're out and about in Paris, let's talk about superstitions for players at majors, because they're really important, right?
Well, the thing is that on clay, the nutrition is one of the most important things. How you recover, not only physically, mentally, but also what you put into your body, and that starts literally as soon as you leave the court for your next match. More important is what you actually eat the night before your day off than the night before your match.
What is that about the routine or the superstition and athletes and how they train? Because it must come from someplace.
When you go to your favorite places all the time, or you stick to some routines, like even having the same practice courts, showering at the same shower after you win match, those kind of little things kind of make you feel like you are in control. I know it's a little bit crazy, but hey, most of the athletes do it and it works for them, so why not? There is, so the restaurant I used to go to, it's also a place where Guga Kuerten used to go, and obviously winning here 3 times. He's been there many times. And the chef told me that it was so strange because he would stick to the same meal for 13 nights in a row. And right before the finals, he actually, instead of pasta or something really light, he ordered the clams. You know, you never know with seafood. You might feel a little bit sick during the night. So I tell you, the chef did not sleep, and well, it worked for Guga. So that was a strange choice. Like once you stick to something, you don't want to change it up.
How about it from Gustavo Kuerten eating clams the night before the final? That was gutsy.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't think it's that gutsy.
He changed up his routine. We've been noticing up close. We go to the same sushi restaurant ourselves every night, and we see Sasha Zverev.
Yeah,
he's got his superstition.
That's obvious, and he'll be having come through today. He'll be back there again tonight.
Yeah, we hope so. We'll see you there, Sasha. Now, I've known this about Sloane Stephens. She loves Indian food, so I think that's what she's been eating here, even in Paris. She does so at Wimbledon, and before the tournament, we had a chance to, well, quiz her on all things France.
France, you know France. You've been here before. You've been here a number of times. Just want to real quick check. Flip that one over. Tell me what you see.
Is this creme brulee?
There you go.
Okay.
You enjoy creme brulee?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Next one.
The Arc de Triomphe.
Been there?
Yeah. My hotel's right next to it.
Okay.
I'm going to guess this was like the first French Open final ever played.
So this player, she has a new court with her name on it.
Oh.
Did you practice on the new court?
Yeah, one day. It's actually very, very nice.
Yeah, good sensations?
Yeah.
Do you
Good
like
vibes.
do you like the fact that with it, did you see from the outside too, like with the flowers and everything, and the fact that it's...
Yeah, like there was like a, I don't know what you call it around it, like a greenery or a
like
greenhouse.
A greenhouse.
Yeah, that was very nice. It was very nice.
Okay,
yeah.
and last one is entertainment.
Oh, Yannick Noah. We played Fed Cup against him last year, and he was the captain.
What is he like as a person?
Oh, he's
I mean,
super
you
nice.
saw him
He's
at a
super
dinner.
sweet. Yeah, he's really, really nice.
Funny?
Yeah.
No?
Good guy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you very much there to Sloane Stephens. We're going to head straight back to Philippe Chatrier. You might be able to hear some of the noise coming from behind me because, Eli, it is still going the way of the young American.
Yep, she broke in the very first game of the second set. I moved places now. I'm at the last row of the stadium in the nosebleeders, or the gods, depending on whether you're from England or from the US. We're sitting here with the view on the court, and I can say, even though we're very, very high up, the view is amazing. In fact, I'm sitting here in the sun, and I'm sitting here with Jérôme. Hello, Jérôme.
Hi.
How is it to sit up here and having the sun? It's very hot. Is it tough, or are you just toughening it through and struggling through the match?
It's been very hot earlier in the day, around noon, but now it's pretty good.
Are you hydrating?
Yeah, sure. We need to.
It's professional tennis. You have to hydrate a lot.
Yes, we do hydrate a lot, and we go out for a while, and but it's been a great day, really a great day.
Well, there you go. Jerome's having a great day, even though sitting in the sun, direct sun hitting on it. Suntan, you put sun cream?
Yeah, I did put some cream, but I think the sun will have me anyway. So
the sun got him. And the good news or the bad news, depending on how you react to the sun, is that tomorrow it's going to be even hotter. So get your sun cream if you're coming tomorrow to Roland-Garros. Meanwhile, we're going to sit here and enjoy the continuation of this second set. And with Sofia Kenin, she's down 15-30, but she's up a break in the second. She's won the first set. And this could be scenes of a huge upset, because Serena Williams, she's no longer #1 in the world, but she stays Serena Williams. And when you beat her, it's a huge thing.
Eli, I'm just curious, really fast, is the crowd with Serena? Are they turning to support the former champion here?
All right. Not really. I think they want to see the upset.
They might want to see.
The French crowd likes an upset. The French crowd likes the underdog, and it's exciting for them. And yeah, I think that I would say it's 75-25, maybe, if more or less.
All right, interesting. So that one you can follow. Thank you so much, Eli. You can follow along scores on RolandGarros.com. If you don't have the app yet, you need to get it, because also there is tomorrow's order of play, and it's day 8. It's Sunday. It's going to be hot. And, well, we've got a hot lineup for you as well. Roger Federer on center court, as is Rafael Nadal. What about that last match? Sloane Stephens against Garbiñe Muguruza, and Petra Martic will start the day against Kaia Kanepi. Martic having beaten Karolina Pliskova in the previous round.
Stefano Tsitsipas, Stan Wawrinka, the battle of the one-handed backhands that stands out. Johanna Konta, what an amazing... She hadn't won a match here before this year. And look at her, she's in the round of 16. And then Benoit Paire, Kei Nishikori. A match that could go either way.
A match that could go forever. And then it's those main 2 courts, of course, that will have the singles, and then Court Simone Mathieu. We've got doubles action. We've got mixed doubles. We've got so much more action this week. We're not even into week 2, and it's so funny. We've been talking about the heat. It really was hot today here in Paris, and it's going to be even hotter tomorrow. Are you ready for that?
No, I don't think I'm not very good in the heat. But as we've said, hydrate and sun cream. Just keep drinking and keep cool.
And if nothing else, please join us here tomorrow, right back here, 7 p.m. local. And in the meantime, you can go to RolandGarros.com. You can go to the app, but we will be here with you on Facebook, on YouTube tomorrow night. And for now, from all of us here, it's au revoir. Good night.